that comment was idiotic. Because now you've made yourself a target for the media. You doing talking about the media? You haven't earned the right to talk about the media yet.
No, he wasn't talking about Shedeur. He knows he shouldn't talk about Shedeur. He knows that ain't gonna end well for him. Now, I know y'all are tired of hearing about this Dillon Gabriel comment, but it seems like ESPN, Stephen A. Smith are just getting started using it for headlines. So I want to react to it, right? Stephen A. Smith is known as somebody who's a little too loud and you know, maybe not knowledgeable enough for situations, but he had an interesting take. He didn't actually think that it was at Shedeur, and I don't think anybody did. And we're going to, you know, talk about 92.3 The Fan as they defend Dillon Gabriel. But even though he thought Shedeur wasn't the target, he still went at Dillon Gabriel like crazy. So we're going to listen to the ESPN, and then we're going to listen to it on his podcast. He was cussing Dillon Gabriel out. Go ahead, Stephen A.
I never believed he was talking about Shedeur Sanders. I totally believed him when he said he was talking about the media. I want to get that out the way first. I don't think he was talking about Shedeur Sanders as well. I think when you heard the comparisons were emanating from the media more so than anybody else. And that's what I think. That's exactly who I think he was directing his comments towards. Having said that, Dillon Gabriel, respectfully, it was stupid. A very dumb comment to make. First of all, let me tell you something. The parameters of a football field, people are competing. We compete here on television. You compete with radio shows. You compete on Wall Street. You compete on Madison Avenue. Everything, especially in America, as it pertains to a capitalistic society, involves competition. To the victor goes the spoils. There are people that are, Jimmy Johnson said it best. He said, I will be very, very consistent in treating you as inconsistently as possible. Those who produce get treated differently than those who don't.
Now, this is the PC Disney version. I want to hear Dillon Gabriel really not Dillon Gabriel. Stephen A. really uncork this thing. All right, so let's really hear
that with everybody.
Stephen A.
Dillon Gabriel. Yeah, it's just part of it. You know, there's entertainers and there's competitors, and I totally understand that. But my job is to compete, and that's what I'm focused on. Upon hearing this, social media immediately took this as a shot at teammate Shedeur Sanders, he being the quote-unquote entertainer in the equation as opposed to the quote-unquote competitor. This led Dillon Gabriel to revisit his comments to clarify, saying he in fact meant the entertainers were the media. Here's what he said, quote, I'm all about my team and each other, but for me, I've explained it. Entertainers are you all. A competitor, that's what I am, along with all my teammates. We both have jobs to do, end quote. Of course, Dillon Gabriel finished his college career at Oregon, all right, where a year earlier, head coach Dan Lanning did not mince words with his team ahead of their 2023 matchup with Shedeur Sanders in Colorado, where he had this to say, maybe indicating a culture of naysayers in Eugene about the Buffs. Eugene, Oregon, that is, about the Buffs. Quote, the Cinderella story is over, men. They're fighting for clicks. We're fighting for wins. There's a difference. This game.
I mean, y'all remember this was super infamous, right? And you know, everybody kind of castrated Colorado during this and made it a whole big deal. So shout out to Dan Lanning for starting this, and I think setting apparently Dillon Gabriel up for failure
in Hollywood. 4 quarterbacks on the roster, meaning one of Gabriel, Sanders, Joe.
I want to get to him cussing. Go ahead.
By the way, working as the QB1.
He was cussing, man.
About a situation where you're fighting for the QB2 spot, which is Shedeur Sanders and Dillon Gabriel and Kenny Pickett to a lesser degree. Kenny Pickett, as far as I'm concerned,
Pickett's out. Don't even worry about
He's already had his opportunities to start in Pittsburgh, didn't pan out so well. Obviously, he was a backup in Philadelphia. We know what that's about. Now here he is in Cleveland. I think he's a perennial backup. I think when you're looking at a starter for the future, you're talking about Shedeur Sanders or Dillon Gabriel. That's what you're talking about here. Let me say this. In defense of Dillon Gabriel, I totally believe him. I totally believe he was not talking about Shedeur Sanders.
Fair, but
I totally believe that he was talking about
but
Shedeur Sanders is his teammate. Shedeur Sanders is competing. Shedeur Sanders did go out there in the first preseason games against Carolina and performed pretty damn well.
Yes, sir.
The only reason he didn't play this past weekend against the Eagles had the oblique injury. We get all of that. But he played pretty damn well. And in some people's eyes, most people's eyes, he played better than Dillon Gabriel. Dillon Gabriel had a good game.
Except Ben Orlovsky.
6 for 6 on third downs, under pressure, in the pocket, was throwing the ball, showed himself to have composure, et cetera, et cetera. You know, the brother played well.
Et cetera.
For the most part. But he did have a pick six, and he did have a fumble the snap.
Nice.
Those things are true.
Shedeur Sanders had a better outing than Dillon Gabriel, even though Dillon Gabriel's outing was not that bad at all.
Not that bad.
With that being said, clearly he wasn't talking about Shedeur Sanders. For anybody that's thinking about that, they reaching.
Yep.
Having said all of that, that doesn't make Dillon Gabriel any less of an idiot on this particular day. Just today. I'm not calling him that as a person. I'm not calling him.
Yeah, here we go.
I'm saying that comment was idiotic. Because now you've made yourself a target for the media. Fuck you think you're doing, talking about the media. You haven't.
Whoa!
You haven't. Now, the second you go out there and you suck for any reason, the media is going to be all over you.
Drop that
Because you
F-bomb.
antagonize them unnecessarily. Why would you do that? Wow. And by the way, in a capitalistic society, I got news for you. Competition isn't restricted to the field of play or the court.
Okay.
Competition is everywhere in a capitalistic society. Some would argue it's everywhere globally. Everybody's competing.
Okay. The F coming from Stephen A. Maybe I don't watch his show a lot, so seeing this is quite jarring to me. Him dropping these F-bombs, but he's hot. Stephen A's straight shooter media, and I tell you what, he's shooting straight right now, son. And we're not gonna go anymore. You get it. He's upset that Dillon Gabriel even came at the media. And this is why Stephen A. Smith has been at the top of ESPN as long as he does, because he can find a way in an angle that nobody else is thinking of to get mad at somebody. I guess I gotta defend Dillon Gabriel. Because when, the F-bomb was harsh. Nah, that's it. That's all the defending I'm doing. After that, I gotta agree with Stephen A. I gotta agree. In a little bit, because while where I do disagree is some people could see it as a shot at Shedeur if it was taken out of context. We've already been over it. We're not gonna do that. But the fact that we're speaking about him actually antagonizing the media, right? As with Shedeur, he didn't antagonize the media. He went up face to face to the media. He said, "Hey, XYZ LMNOP," So just like Dan Lanning likes to do, you know what I'm saying, in your quote unquote private, pregame hype up whatever moments that somebody's filming, you can see ESPN at the corner of your eye, Mr. Clicks and views and all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? I think you might have set Dillon Gabriel up for failure to the point where now he's coming into thinking that, the media's against him, the media's against him. Dog, the media has been doing nothing but defending Dillon Gabriel. And it's crazy to me that I sat here and watched as people are talking about an interception and poorly executed fumble. Just poorly execute. Hey, that's fundamentals. Poor fundamentals, poor decision making. And people are out here defending him. And what he does is say, the outside distractions of the media. The media that's been saying that you're the favorite. The media that's been saying it's either Kenny Pickett or Dillon Gabriel. The media that's been saying, hey, Shedeur did good, but wait for Dillon Gabriel. The media that's been saying, hey, there's a reason why Shedeur Sanders was picked where he's picked. That's what I heard leading up to Dillon Gabriel's performance. And post Dillon Gabriel's performance, all I've seen is media defending. So if I can drink a little bit of the Stephen A. crazy juice, no, he wasn't talking about Shedeur. He knows he shouldn't talk about Shedeur. He knows that ain't going to end well for him. That's why I know he wasn't talking about him. You don't want them problems. Cleveland media and Cleveland fans are afraid of Shedeur fans right now on Twitter. They shaking in their boots. Upset that the Browns are getting called a terrible organization. Y'all been a terrible organization since I breathed air. Side point. But hey, Stephen A., I see where you're coming from. Shedeur Sanders goes up man to man, shakes a man's hands, looks him in the eye and says, hey, brother, how about say some nice things about me? Right now, some people could argue, oh, well, he was being filmed, XYZ. But remember, Tony Grossi came up to Shedeur. Y'all forgot about that as y'all complain about why is there a camera there? Explain, why is Tony Grossi walking up to Shedeur after his media availability? Oh, but that's cool, right? Everything's cool. It's Shedeur's fault. Why are you talking to media members? But I don't see anybody coming at Dillon Gabriel for coming at the media. Tony Grossi is sitting there and Mary Kay, and they're like, oh. And Dillon Gabriel's like, no, I'm talking about y'all. The same people who said that he had great processing. He's number one in the building. He's going to be the guy. That's the same person. Guys, I like Dillon Gabriel. I think the kid's baller. I think the kid's going to have a nice career in the NEFL. In the NEFL, the No Fun League. But if it's not obvious, hey, just look this up, man. Just look at this whole situation up. Because apparently Tony Brown, 8-year veteran in the NFL, is a part of an entourage. Apparently listening to hype up music, nobody cares about context in that situation, but we getting all the context here. So yeah, you know what, Stephen A, go crazy, Stephen A. Light him up, Stephen A. I want to ask you, do you still think, because a lot of y'all still think, hey, it's a shot at Shedeur. It's a shot at Shedeur. And again, I think it's not a shot at Shedeur because, I don't think it's smart. Now, maybe it wasn't on accident. I don't think he did it on purpose if y'all did take it as a shot at Shedeur. But more importantly, right, they set him up. The NFL set him up. And I want this to be honest because you know what Colin Cowherd said? Hold up. Somehow Colin Cowherd is blaming Shedeur for the media. And I keep telling y'all, they keep blaming Shedeur. The media is asking the question. The media is setting it up. The NFL is leaving out the question and setting Dillon Gabriel up for failure. But you know whose fault it really is? It's Shedeur Sanders' fault. Let's hear it, Colin.
You guys who love Shedeur and Carolina wearing his jerseys, you're making him into a celebrity. So if I'm a coach and I have to choose, okay, Joe Flacco's starting, Dillon Gabriel may be easier to deal with. You don't have to deal with the nonsense. So the truth is about these guys, I have two strong opinions. I think Dillon Gabriel's size is an issue. I would have a hard time building around him. He's small. I like his temperament more than Shedeur, who's silly and kind of goofy. But I think Shedeur was underdrafted. Shedeur is bigger.
Silly
I think
and
he
goofy.
moves well. I would choose Shedeur over Dillon Gabriel. I don't think either is transformational. And here's the thing. What NFL GMs really want from quarterbacks, they want you to be Andrew Luck. Great and boring. Brady was mostly boring when he played. Peyton Manning got really, really funny when he retired. If you're not great, and neither one of these quarterbacks is, you can't be the life of the party.
Again, Colin Cowherd, hot takes are his business. What upsets me is that, we're arguing about temperament when another guy threw an interception and was the cause of a fumble. We're arguing about temperament when another guy, you're worried about his literal build. We're worried about temperament when at every single point, Shedeur Sanders has risen to the occasion, done what he needed to do. He's accoladed, awarded multiple places, spaces, and individuals, whether it's the FCS level HBCUs or at the Big 12 and Pac-12 level with Colorado. I don't understand what else needs to be proven that he can play football and still not have to just be some boring guy. Did you listen to the mic'd up? Did you listen to him commanding the troops? Do you listen to how the teammates sound about him, right? Because it keeps being Shedeur's fault for being a celebrity, right? Even there, hey, you fans are making it bad for Shedeur. How are other people making it bad for Shedeur? That's y'all's problem. In y'all's bias, that what y'all are gonna see is y'all are gonna see fringe fans, and I'm seeing it from these Cleveland accounts. Oh my God, the Sanders fans, y'all are ruining it. He's working so hard, but y'all are gonna make me root against him. Why would you root against somebody because of hype? Here we go again. Colorado all over again. People just start hating because people like them. You see how, although it's true and humans are dumb and we do that don't make no sense. There's no grounding to stand on there. I'm mad at Shedeur because of his fans. Well, what did Shedeur do? Well, he was respectful. He said the right things. He's been giving credit to his teammates. His teammates have positive things to say about him. But because some dude on Twitter said something, I'm mad. Because some large-headed dude on YouTube said he likes Shedeur, you know what? I don't want Shedeur to be successful. I think y'all just don't want Shedeur to be successful. Can y'all just say that? Colin Cowherd, can you just say, hey, I actually just don't like Shedeur. I don't like him. I would have way more respect if y'all just say that. I gotta be honest with you. I would really respect it. But making these pleas for Dillon Gabriel, right? When he is coming at the media, I haven't seen Colin Cowherd respond to that. That's so crazy to me. Everybody is so focused on the Shedeur thing that y'all not even going to attack like Stephen A. He just attacked the media as a rookie quarterback. Imagine if Shedeur did that on his press conference, not address a media member who came up to him after he just praised him for answering his questions in the media session. Hey, Tony, how about ask your questions in the media session? You run up on somebody else, they put the pause on you, look you in the eye like a man, and now you run around saying, why is it being recorded? Tony, how about be a professional? How about expect your questions to be answered when questions are being answered? But everybody attacked Shedeur for going up with him. Nobody attacking Dillon Gabriel besides Stephen A. for going at the media as a projected third string quarterback behind Kenny Pickett, who hasn't practiced in 3 weeks. Hey, man. Don't blame, man. Stephen A. Smith, man. He's having some takes. I'm not mad at this one. I don't know, man. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about the whole situation. I know y'all tired of talking about Dillon Gabriel. Hopefully we get to see Dillon Gabriel versus Shedeur quarter for quarter next game. That would be phenomenal. But, hey, y'all let me know how you feel down low in the comments. How you feel about Joe Flacco starting? How is this whole situation going to get situated out? Like the video if you do like it. Dislike it if you don't like it. Subscribe if you like football content. Hey, I got to let y'all know, I still do college football stuff. You know what I'm saying? So if there's something y'all want to see, I'm about to do a series where I follow the next Cleveland Browns quarterback because, we know how the Browns are. They love what's it called? They love another quarterback. So even if Shedeur or Dillon Gabriel, let's say he balls out, I don't know, they're still going to pick a quarterback with the 2 first-round picks. I'm almost certain of it. They just can't. There's just something in them. They got to do it. They have to add to that long list of quarterback names. So we're going to track that. Check in with the Colorado Buffaloes. They got a big matchup with Georgia Tech. So, Longhorns versus Ohio State. Hey, Julian saying, you know what I mean? So we'll talk about it. We'll get deeper into it. But yeah, man, I appreciate y'all rocking with me. Like the video if you like it. Dislike if you don't. Subscribe if you like football content of all shapes, sizes, forms, and fashions. Continue to be great. If you're here, you're one of the greatest of the greatest because all my audience is great. But you're doing it a little better, man. You keep it up. We'll see you next time. Peace.